Is this still an evaluation game, or do you feel like you know where you're going?
No, it's still evaluation. Still, some guys that we're looking at, young players. Going to have to make decisions up in those forward positions.
Be relieved when this game is over, just that you'll have all the information you're going to get to make these decisions.
There's still a good part of the regular season too. No matter how we start the team, there's going to be that energy when you start. Everybody's excited. I've been in that position before as a player, and the adrenaline, the excitement of all that is going to be high. And I think I've used this saying before with you guys. It's getting here. You're good enough to get here, but are you good enough to stay here? And you go through training camp, again, you got a lot of that energy, and you make the team, and if that's the way it goes. But now, are you good enough to maintain it, sustain it, and play here and still have the impact? Because that'll still be a trial period too.
Should we read into who's in and who's not in?
No.
No.
It's just again, as a coaching group, as a management organization, we're still watching and making assessments of players.
We talked a lot last year about how this team sort of brought a Western Conference mentality to the East with it. How important is it for you to sustain that style of play and be that kind of team in this coming season?
I think we just want to play to our strengths. We established an identity last year. I don't know if you want to call it a West Coast identity or how you play, but we're playing Blue Jacket hockey.
Yeah.
And to me, there was a difference in our first two periods in how we played Carolina. We had approximately 26 forechecks through two periods of hockey. It's how we marked it. They had 50-some. Carolina did. And in the third period, we had 25 forechecks. They only had 12.
Interesting.
And to me, we played a much better third period because we started to play a North game again. We're a forechecking team. That's the strength of our group. Getting in hard on the forecheck, create the turnovers, put teams under pressure. And really every team, I think, does that same thing. But when we're going, that's what we're doing. And then we use our size once we create the turnovers to play in the offensive zone.
You chart forechecks?
Well, what it is, it's marked by our video coach,
Yeah.
Dan Singleton. So, whenever puck gets dumped in, he'll mark a forecheck.
Okay.
And obviously by not having that many, we weren't dumping the puck enough. We were probably spending too much time in our own zone, maybe trying to carry the puck too many times. And I still want to play with the puck. I don't want to have to give up the puck and forecheck. If there's opportunities to make plays off the rush, let's make plays. But we are a forechecking team.
Yeah. When he charts that, what constitutes a forecheck?
Well, it's getting the puck deep.
Just the puck below the goal line is a forecheck?
Well, and then it depends on if it's a line change or
right.
that doesn't count. But it's getting the puck in and starting to go after it.
Interesting.
Pleased with your two goalies in this camp?
Goalies have been great, and not only these two goalies, but all the goaltenders, even the Forsberg and Dansk, the guys that we had in the games. So really that position, they've all done a very good job.
How do you plan to use them?
Bob will play the whole game.
Are there parts of the process that in the first couple of games of the preseason, breakouts, D-zone coverage, you expect to be a little bit of a learning curve, where by now you want to have it buttoned up, or does it take a few regular season games too?
You know what? You're constantly growing it. You're making adjustments to it. I think as coaches, you're always watching it and trying to figure out ways to do it better, be more efficient. We came in with a game plan. I think the players have done a really good job, and a lot of it is similar to what we were preaching last year. But there are some things that we added to it and just want to get better at. And it's constantly evolving, and sometimes you have to go backwards to go forward. And as a coach, those are the adjustments you have to make at times, sitting down as a coaching staff, and what do we have to do to get better in this area? It seems like one part of your systematic play leads into the other. If you're doing a good job in the neutral zone or a good job tracking the puck, does it lead to easier breakouts? Because maybe you're forcing them to make bad dumps, or maybe you're putting them in positions where you can hit. Now they're only forechecking with one guy instead of two. If your forecheck's good, are you playing that three-quarter ice game where they're so tired they have to get it out in line change, so they can't get a forecheck? So a lot of these systematic things kind of depend on each other.
Do you chart a not to belabor the point, but do you chart the forechecks, and does that mean as much to you as, say, scoring chances? Is that as good a barometer of how you're playing?
When we go back and we look, it's trying to find out, okay, we didn't do this well. Why didn't we do this well? And for me, coming out of the Carolina game, it was obvious that we were taking pucks back. We were playing too slow. And I think it started, and some of it I think was what we were trying to do as coaches, and sometimes bringing the puck back. Well, we were just thinking that mentality the whole time that we're bringing it back. And we made the adjustment, and it's a credit to the players because they went out and applied it, that, well, just playing a simple North game. And once we started playing that simple North game, it led to more forechecks and more offensive zone time.
Have Wenberg and Dano, to your liking, transitioned into playing on the smaller North American ice at a pace that you wanted to see?
Yeah, they look pretty good. I've had no issues with them. They've been playing at a pretty high level, both of them. And then, yes, it is a different surface, but they've been playing against men. So I think that will help with the transition, but I think they've both done a very good job.
Murray was doing some of the penalty kill shifts today. Has he been sort of cleared for contact?
He's been getting better and better each day, being able to do more and more.
For the younger guys, you talked about the youthful exuberance, the enthusiasm. Have you also noticed, is there been a development of any kind of a swagger where on day one maybe there's walking on eggshells, they're new, and by this point maybe they feel comfortable, they belong here every day?
I hope they're still walking on eggshells a little bit, because nothing's truly safe when you're a rookie, and you should always have that fear. You should always have that fear. That's part of, I think, being a young player, and so you have to have confidence when you go out and play, because that will help you. But the confidence can't bubble more than that into cockiness or arrogance. You got to have confidence, but and then once you start getting comfortable, then you're dead, and that's true with anybody. As a coach, that's again one of the elite players. They have something, and it's always to be better. That's the motivation. And as a young player, you have that. But the great players have that, and our young players should have that.
Just starting the season, last year you had 2 rookies, potentially more than that. Starting the season, does that change the dynamic in the room at all with the guys?
I don't see it changing it. You might ask the players that question. We were a young team last year. We're going to be a young team again this year. I don't see it changing anything.